You already know they're doing it to him. The Tom Aspinall smear campaign has started. I mean, I'm seeing a lot coming in from both sides right now, but the most important side is Daddy Dana's side himself. And you see it in the thumbnail. I mean it. Dana thinks Tom quit. Dana thinks Tom quit. Now, obviously, you know by now, Tom Aspinall got poked at the end of round 1, rendered unable to continue after a double eye poke from Ciryl Gane. Double. Okay, not one, but two. So here's the post-fight press conference. Dana White saying all but the fact that Tom quit. But he makes it clear. Let me put it like this, all right? In this press conference, Dana White makes it crystal clear that his new golden goose is Ciryl Gane. The new golden goose of the UFC is Ciryl Gane. All right, rematch coming, but it's Ciryl Gane. And there's a lot to this, a lot of underlying, I think, developments that have resulted in this. I don't just think this is because of the eye poke. I think this is partially due to some stuff during fight week that unfolded. If you know, you know, but I will be talking about it after we go over Dana White and Ciryl Gane's press conferences. Let me pull up the chat, boys. Drew, Dana was furious. Hey, Drew, I told you, bro. I told you it was best if I come back on later. Was I right or right? Was I right or was I right? I actually just took a nap, bro, and woke back up. And I'm like, bro, I gotta do this. But I clipped it all up. I'm ready to go. So let's get into it. Furious fucking Dana. Alright?
Attendance was 13,220 tonight. It was sold out. Client fight was fight of the night. Performance of the night was Walker and Quinlan. They all won $50,000.
You can already tell by the tone of his voice. No hi, hello. Sits down, head down, reads off the stats. Not happy. Already kind of doing the act job, you know what I mean? Making it known, making it clear.
All right, Dana. Well, obviously, not a way we want to see a main event end, any fight end. Give us your reaction to the eye poke and how it all went out.
I mean, I feel the way everybody feels. Great showing, shitty ending, you know? I think that after the Jones fight, a lot of people wrote Ciryl Gane off. He looked damn good tonight.
Yeah, what did you think about the fight on its way to the eye poke? What did you take from those 4 minutes?
Good. Looked like we were in for a few rounds, and it was going to be a good fight.
It would seem obvious that a rematch is right on the cards. Would you like to just rebook these guys as soon as Tom is able to get back in there?
Yeah. Total pain in the ass, but yes.
Yeah. Have you got any medical update on Tom, or is it still too soon?
He's on his way to the hospital.
It's a bit of a weird question, right? It was ruled a no contest because of an unintentional eye poke. What does it take to make an eye poke intentional, and is there even a way you could ever prove that?
Who the fuck knows? Who gives a shit? What are you going to do?
I know.
I mean, real quick, this wasn't super telling off the bat, I will say. But clearly he's like, you know, Tom looked good, which he did. No lie there. Tom looked good. Ciryl looked good. And he confirmed the rematch. He says it's a pain in the ass, but it's got to be done. So, rematch on the way. Ciryl looked good. It gets juicier, though.
We, tried to do new gloves before, and that kind of didn't work out. Is there anything we can do to stop these eye pokes? Would you ever look at maybe trying to change the gloves again, or is it just part of the sport? Just shit happens.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what you do with the glove, I mean, they're going to happen.
And what did you think for the rest of the card? Obviously, Mackenzie Dern winning the title. What did you think of that fight and that performance?
What did I think of the Dern fight? Yeah, those two literally beat the shit out of each other.
Just shit.
Yeah.
Dinner here.
Hey.
What did you make of Umar, his performance in there? Because I think a lot of people, they wanted to see something spectacular from him after the Merab fight, and even he said maybe he even underestimated Mario. So it seems like that's the performance both guys kind of left as like higher in the eyes of fans.
What are you saying? The fans think that what?
They were equally as impressed with Mario's performance in there.
Yeah.
It seemed like he had him scouted.
Well, I think going into that fight, we all expected him to do well. He was seriously motivated. He's a very talented guy, and he did well. It was a great fight. He did a great job. He didn't get dominated the way, that team dominates people.
And the other
Nice little cheese, Dane. I appreciate it. But listen here. Over here, we grade on a different scale. It just is what it is, all right? I don't know why people are going to be impressed with Mario Bautista's win because he didn't get completely fucking the shit beat out of him. Like, what the fuck is that? Like I said, all credit to Mario. There's nothing bad here. It's just personally, I expected a little bit more from Mario than a unanimous decision loss. Okay, I expected him to not get taken down so easily. I expected his guard not to get passed so easily. He's the best guy in his gym, okay, for his respective weight category. And I'm talking, 135, 125, 145, probably up to lightweight. Okay, he's the best in his gym. Umar's not the best on his team, where he comes from. So that's my math. I'm just thinking, I don't think Umar should have just been passing his guard at will, taking him down somewhat at will. And here we are giving Mario credit for being able to get up. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I think Mario's gym had higher expectation for him. I think they're not over here saying, oh, wow, you know what I mean? We expected you to get your ass beat like everybody else gets their ass beat by the Nurmagomedov camp. I think they probably think that they could have won that fight, and they shouldn't have lost a unanimous decision. That's my opinion. If Mario went out and lost a split decision, okay, maybe we could be like valiant effort, really close. One judge even gave it to Mario, but that's not the situation here. I don't appreciate, the narrative that like Mario should be getting celebrated and clapped up because he didn't concede to the takedowns. The fact that he gave up a lot of them, the fact that he was getting his guard passed all the way into side control, not chill. And again, nothing really bad about Mario, but just don't set the bar so low. That's my thing. Stop setting the bar so low. Like, we're not celebrating this for Mario, and neither is his team. So you guys, the media, and Dana or fans, all right, Mario and his team aren't even celebrating this. So no need to do this right now. We'll continue, but let me read some chats real quick. Ciryl will beat Tom. Tom is overrated. I mean, yes, Taylor, we found that out as well, didn't we? We found that out as well. We'll talk about it. We found that out as well. Does that mean he quit? No. So let's talk about that in a second. Gane was doing good, but the eye pokes were bad. He was beating Aspinall damage-wise before the eye pokes. Louis, there we go. Both are true. Jon Jones has hilariously trolled Tom Aspinall. We will look at those tweets as well, Taylor. Tom's striking isn't super great. He just has some hand speed for heavyweight, and he's tall even for heavyweight. Gane has actual defense like a smaller fighter, and Tom's 1-2 blitzes isn't effective. Louis, you're hitting the nail on the head. You're hitting the nail on the head. Let's continue this press conference.
Other heavyweight fight on the main card, Volkov, Jailton, Almeida. It seemed like even though Jailton got all the takedowns in control, he just wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Even Ben Askren.
Listen, you.
Well, Ben Askren was like, "What is Jailton allergic to throwing punches in there?" Was his exact phrase.
You can't win a fight by just laying on top of somebody. That's not how it works. So, I was actually very happy with the way the judges scored that fight.
Azamat Mirzakhanov seems like you have another new contender at light heavyweight. Goldberg was in attendance. Yuri just won. You got another new guy, fresh face for the champion. What did you make of his performance?
I agree with you 100%. I mean, that was a jab, pretty much. Yeah, the guy's incredibly powerful, and he's going to be fun to watch.
And I know you match make on Tuesdays, but Hamdi and Walter Walker were both back here, and they both want to fight each other on the UFC Qatar fight. Hamdi was actually back here watching the fight, and he's like, let's see if you can do that to me, essentially. Is that something you would consider booking?
I don't know. We'll talk about it on Tuesday.
Дана, поздравляю.
Hey, how are you?
Поздравляю вас с очередным турниром. Умара Нурмагомедова секундировал его брат Усман Нурмагомедов. Я видел, что вы очень тепло с ним поздоровались на церемонии взвешивания. Плюс сейчас еще один легковес из зала Хабиба Нурмагомедова пополнил рост.
Umar Nurmagomedov to him with that team. Can we expect matchmaking
Провести боксерский бой с Мирко Филипповичем турнир.
Would love.
Меня в моей не мой бой.
И последний вопрос ни разу в бою.
Once again was the opener with
Nasrat Haqparast because
he's good. We literally got it walking.
Dana right here. Is there an update on Nasrat Haqparast because
he's good. We literally.
Here he is once again. This pisses me off more than you guys even know. Here he is again, downplaying. I don't like, dude. It's okay. I mean, maybe it's not okay for him, but like, cuts this guy off, asking about the health of Nasrat. Suffered a brutal knockout. Okay, and Dana doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah, he's good. Oh, well, wait. Oh, my bad. Wait, he's not good. I mean, he's probably pissed. Like, listen to this fucking guy.
We got it walking through the door.
Rewind.
I mean,
right hack for us because
he's good. We literally got it walking through the door. I mean, I don't know if he's good, but he's healthy. He's, he's very upset, but he's healthy.
And I know that you said
we literally got him walking through the door. Like, Dana, I don't know why you get so uncomfortable when people ask about the health of the fighters, but it would be nice for you to show a little bit more concern, in my opinion. I don't know why you don't show concern, but, hopefully Nasrat is doing okay. I would love to see what Nasrat thinks of this clip right here. Of Dana being like, yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, we got him walking through the door right now. He's good. Oh, well, he's not good. He's probably pissed off that he lost. No, he's not pissed off that he lost. He's probably happy that he's fucking alive, dude. And who knows how he's feeling. Maybe he has a massive headache and shit like that. You got him walking through the door, and that's the requirement for, yeah, he's good. I don't know what else he can say about it, but it's just like, I don't know, maybe show a little bit more concern. And this is consistent with Dana. All the time, he just kind of like, as soon as they ask about the health of a fighter, quick to cut him off. Yeah, he's good. Next question.
You'd want to do the rematch between Tom and Ciryl. It's very fresh, but any potential timeline for that? Like maybe January, the kick off the Paramount card?
Yeah, I mean, they're both in shape, other than whatever's wrong with his eye. Both guys are not injured, so as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, what about the rule? It's only the second time in a championship fight that we do have a no contest for such thing.
Here it is.
We just have to go by the judges and the fighters' will. That's just the way it is. For him to say after 5 minutes, I can no longer continue. What I'm trying to figure out is there different levels of eye pokes? Do you see what I'm saying?
Nobody sees what you're saying, sir.
It's only up to the fighter to stay whether or not he wants to continue.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Well, yeah, what am I going to say? Hey, Tom, no, you're going to keep fighting.
Ciryl tried to tell him or go toward him, and Jason Herzog said, don't talk to the opponent at that point. So I guess they were trying to figure out to one another.
You can't, just like, I can't make people fight, right? If I want to put together a fight, I can't make people fight. And you definitely can't make somebody continue if they feel they've been injured. Only Tom knows what happened. Could he see, couldn't he see, could he continue? Only he knows that.
I appreciate your answer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Dana, приветствую.
Yep.
I mean, so clearly, this journalist believes Tom should have continued the fight. That's why he's asking the question. Is it really up to the fighter? Like, there's nobody else that could override that decision? Which is kind of crazy, but I mean, and that's why Dana said, what am I supposed to say? No, you're fighting. Like, he feels like he got hurt. He's claiming he got hurt. You can't force a guy to fight that claims he can't see off of something that he had no control over being done to him. But nonetheless, with all that being said, this journalist is suggesting that Tom should have continued fighting, that somebody should have overrode Tom's decision, and Dana basically agrees with him. You know, that's why Dana picked it up right away. I didn't pick it up that quick, but Dana picked it up right away. He's like, what am I supposed to say? Like, yeah, you should keep fighting? Because another way of interpreting that could have been like, why is the onus on the athlete, right, to say he can't continue? Why can't someone else step in as far as like the doctors and call it for him? But they're going in the narrative of like, he should have continued. You know what I mean? So that he's already agreeing with him. And then he goes in and he says, only Tom knows. He makes it crystal clear. Only Tom knows. You know? Was he poked? Was he not poked? Could he continue? Only Tom knows. You know what? We're pulling up the pictures, bro. Because this is a little bit ridiculous. This is a little bit ridiculous that Tom has to go through this right now. Okay. This isn't even the clearest photo. But this was going in on a takedown attempt, apparently. So what is it? Ciryl gone? Because I don't think Tom was shooting on too many takedowns. Was this the game plan? This is just a conspiracy theory, but it's like, you know, did the coaches say, hey, on the first takedown attempt, eye poke, bro. Eye poke. Get him guessing. I don't know. It could be. All's fair in love and war. And then here they are calling unintentional, right? The judges call it unintentional. You never know what they discussed behind the scenes. Knuckle deep in his eyeball, okay? Knuckle deep in his eyeball. And Dana wants to say, only Tom knows what happened. Could he see? Couldn't he see? Could he continue? Only he knows. Bro. I'm going to go on the side that Tom couldn't see, man. And I see people saying, oh, he's covering the wrong eye. And okay. All right. I get where you're coming from with that. But here will be my only argument for that. If you go watch the replay of the fight, which I don't know, I guess you had to buy the pay-per-view to do that. If you watch the replay of the fight, or maybe there's a replay on Twitter somewhere, Tom flashes his eye for a second. Before he gets the towel and shit like that, you could see his eye, and it's red as fuck, dude. It's red as fuck compared to the other one. You could tell his eye was spasming. So, like, I don't know if it's just a bunch of Twitter accounts who don't really watch this shit, but I was dialed in on the fucking event. I was watching it in front of my face, and I could see the eye that Tom was covering with the towel was spasming. So, I don't even buy that narrative. Like, oh, Tom is covering up the wrong eye, like, or claiming it's the wrong eye. You know what I mean? Go back and watch the replay and look how red the eye was. I don't know. That's just my take on it. I don't think Tom's faking. Do I think Tom was getting his ass beat? Yes, I do. I do. Do I think his holes got exposed a little bit? Yes, I do. I do, 100%. But do I think he used this as a way of getting out of there? Not really. Honestly, no. Upon further review, I just don't really buy it. And there's more to what Dana said. So let's watch that real quick. But we just got done with Dana saying how, you know, only Tom knows if he hurt himself. That's not the biggest clip yet. We got the biggest one coming up.
Я здесь, Dana. I'm here.
Hi, yeah, okay.
Yes. Хотелось бы задать вопрос про Александра Волкова. Вот сегодня он победил Жилтона Алмейда довольно близким решением, и многие в комментариях сейчас считают, что таким образом, как будто бы судьи вернули Александру должок за бой с Ганом. Для вас это так выглядело?
I want to ask about the Volkov fight. He won today with a pretty close split decision, and this way, a lot of people in the commentary, a lot of people in the comment section said that maybe this was a here's your victory back for that fight that he was supposed to win against Gane but didn't. So he basically got
over for me. What?
So and the opposite, he was owed and
Вы прошлый немножко жестче, вы Ciryl
lost to Gane. You said something different, but I'm just going to say that you told him he was robbed.
Judges made it doing anything.
Держан человек ничего не делает. Возможность драться за
меня, что Ciryl ему для
the main event. Likely Volkov is now the official #1 contender. The victory, whoever wins that is going to fight Volkov.
I have no idea what's going to happen. First of all, I can sit here right now. The fight just got over however long ago. What makes sense is to do the rematch. It makes sense. Sitting here tonight, I say, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Anything can happen between now and, when I get him. We're not talking this Tuesday. I go from here to Saudi. I go to Qatar, then Saudi. I'm still here for another 8 or 9 days. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying anybody's going to be a #1 contender outside of Ciryl Gane. I don't know. But right here, right now, being honest, which I never do this ever, is talk about, what next fight's going to happen. The rematch is what makes sense.
Adamant on the rematch, and yeah, Volkov getting the shit end of the stick here. He would have thought that he's #1 contender, he's getting the title shot next off of the winner, but now this fight got to get run back, and then you got to book it with Volkov. So, I mean, shit. Depending on when these boys can run it back, Dana wants to run back ASAP, you know what I mean? So let's see. 3 months from now? I mean, January could be a viable option. January, whatever day in January, could be very viable.
Наверное, то, что сейчас нужно сделать, это, конечно же, дать им возможность все-таки подраться. Вторник, самый контендер #1. Сейчас я не могу сказать. Сейчас Ciryl Gane контендер #1.
Unfortunately for Volkov, he won the fight tonight, which I thought he should have, but there's been lots of bad decisions in the UFC. So I'm glad that went that way for him. Unfortunately for him, the main event was a nightmare and, doesn't make him the #1 contender right now.
Для Волкова хорошо то, что он все-таки... Поэтому...
I would like to, and if yes, when can this fight happen?
Since the Reader was defeated last week, and will Nasruddin Imamov be the #1 contender officially now that the Reader was deleted?
I have no idea. I have no idea, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right here, I'm going to ask in Russian so he can translate. Даже если прилично.
Whenever we go to a new market, have you spoken to Trump?
Because he was afraid he wouldn't be able to get the signal off the plane, so he was on the plane.
Потому что он боялся, что если он выйдет из самолета, там не будет достаточно сил.
И он за титул, если да, то то есть у него есть Мадален. Оттянуться.
We're gonna have a main event. Arman's gonna be fighting.
No any of this yet.
Начнем уже решать, когда мы посмотрим, тогда будем решать.
А еще в Катаре так.
Also Alexander, Ilya, probably.
Yeah, we'll handle it.
Do Tom and Gane again, or are you more interested in the House card? Yeah, would you be interested in bringing back Francis Ngannou for the White House card to fight Jon Jones, since he might have to do Tom and Gane again, or are you more interested in Alex versus Jon?
We haven't even started to put together we got to have this year play out before we even start thinking about what we're going to do for the White House. Yeah. We haven't even. I mean, we're not even going to start playing with that card till February.
Hi, Dana Rio here. How are you?
Hi.
With the mistakes that happened last week in the refereeing, I know there's a pool that comes in with the referees and you guys pick and choose from them. Would there be like some sort of a freezing period for the referee that he makes mistakes? And one more thing. In a recent interview with Ronda Rousey, says that she doesn't come to the. And maybe I thought.
And always be her house.
Those refs that are making blatant mistakes.
I mean that.
about the main event.
Here it is.
Coming into this fight between the two of them, Ciryl was the underdog and Tom the most popular. With the few things we've seen into this fight, I feel like Ciryl was doing pretty well. Do you feel the same? And do you feel that he's earned respect so that people would care even more when you make this fight again and the odds would be more equivalent?
Yes. Yes, I agree. I think that, I said earlier, because of the Jon Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. And he's right behind me. He's coming in next, so you guys can ask him how he felt. But I feel like, you know, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight. And it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, you know, he had Tom bloodied up. And, you know, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch, Tom bloodied up. And, you know.
That lip smack, though.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
Tom didn't want to continue. Putting the blame on Tom. The smear campaign has started. Dana White not fucking with the Aspinall camp. Now, why, you might ask? Why, you might ask? Well, DJ, play the clip of Tom Aspinall's dad saying he doesn't want him to re-sign with the UFC. DJ, play the clip.
You're okay with an MMA champion, but you wanted a boxing champion.
Boxing for sure. The money.
More money.
Yeah. More money. Why not?
Would that be an outcome for him? No.
He's 3 more fights on the contract now.
Okay. So
and I don't want to sign a new contract.
Okay.
Personally.
So you said that you wanted a boxing champion.
Yeah, for sure.
So 3 more fights left on the contract, and I don't want to sign a new contract personally. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no coincidence. Dana's playing hardball. He's saying it's fuck you, it's fuck me, then it's fuck you. You know what I mean? And that's how the game's about to be played between Dana White and the Aspinalls. So, low-key unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles. You gotta play your cards right. It's chess, not checkers. Unfortunately for Tom's dad, he was being secretly recorded by the Ray-Ban Metas. Those damn Ray-Ban Metas, bro. And here's Ciryl Gane's reaction to the fight as well, real quick.
So I started the fight very well. I know he loves to start very fast, and so I was touching him. I was, defending the takedown, and at the middle of the first round, I was feeling myself in a state of flow. I was starting to understand very well what was happening, and then I felt like I would end this fight. So I started the fight very well. I know he loves.
So yeah, Ciryl Gane feels like the finish was on the way too. You know how it is. I feel like it might have been on the way. Alright, boys, let's read the chats. I see you going off in here. Tom has more time to readjust his approach. Happened with Curtis Blades. Jew, that's possible, but I'm going to say this. Tom's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. He wasn't even competitive in that fight. Regardless of what people want to say. Now, I don't know. You know what I mean? I did present that theory about that eye poke on the first takedown attempt. A little bit fishy, if you ask me. A little bit fishy. Taylor says the holes in Tom's game were exposed in the fight versus Gane. Yeah, they were. They were. And the thing is that Tom's been fighting on such a, first round knockout, submission. Like, we're not seeing much. We don't know. He hasn't really even been tested. That's what I mean when I say tested, not by tough opponents, but like these tough opponents haven't even been able to like present him problems to be like, okay, he can handle that. You know, he hasn't been able to even get out of the first round. And today, you know, he was able to handle some of the ass beating he was taking, but he wasn't able to deliver anything, really, of significant offense on Gane. Only fight I cared for was Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall, just to see Gane expose Aspinall. Taylor knew what was coming. I was saying the same thing Dana's saying, and I think a lot of you are saying, which is that, you know, a lot of people are sleeping on Gane because of the loss to Jon Jones. And, you know, I think if anything, that whole experience made this experience easier for Ciryl Gane. Going through what he went through in that Jon Jones fight and coming back from it, I think this was easier for him. At Just Jew, Gane has improved his takedown defense since the Jones fight. Taylor, it was that, but I think it was also partially magnitude, also a short training camp, 5 weeks. I don't think he was ready to go, but he took it anyway. You know, against a guy like Jon Jones. Just keep that in mind. You're speaking about Jon Jones. This guy stepped up and fought Jon Jones. Imagine the nightmares you have, right, as a Ciryl Gane fighting a Jon Jones. Ciryl Gane was not that worried about Tom Aspinall. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. This whole fight week was probably a lot easier for him. A Jon Jones fight week with all the mind games and shit is way harder. Gane was broken mentally before that fight even started. And Jon is notorious for doing that. I seen that Gane hired an Iranian Olympic wrestler. Yeah, he did. And it worked, didn't it, Jew? Taylor says. It's interesting. Man, I'm not going to say Tom will win the rematch, but he's going to have to take that wrestling defense into consideration and make adjustment. And Gane is going to have to expect that and adjust. You know, the other thing is that the stand-up is so fucking many levels apart from each other. Ciryl Gane's striking levels above Tom Aspinall, and we saw it, bro. We saw it. Ciryl Gane basically has the ability to land on Tom at will. And Tom's lucky if he even lands like a couple strikes on Ciryl. Like, he's lucky whenever he lands something. Aspinall is a one-dimensional fighter, Jew. That was Taylor. Define one-dimensional, Taylor. Aspinall relies on one tactic, and that was shown versus Gane. Taylor, I wouldn't say he's one-dimensional. He got grappling and he got striking, but his striking is kind of mid. It just shows the level of light heavyweight or of heavyweight, bro. Francis Ngannou, Jon Jones, Ciryl Gane, those guys are the top. They've been proven, like truly. At best, there's an argument for him being overhyped, but it didn't even go a full round, so it didn't even go a full round to solidify anything. Jew, I think definitely overhyped is a great way to put it. He's been overhyped. Tom is extremely overhyped and overrated. I think Tom expected the takedown to come easy. I think he also expected his speed and power to carry him, and Gane kept good range and was landing. Alright, boys, now I'm just reading out your conversation with each other. Is he going to box YouTubers? He wouldn't be a good he would not be a good boxer as he is now. See what I mean? See what I mean, Louis? Yeah, bullshit on that whole boxing thing. Aspinall wanted out of the fight. Yo, what up, Aries? Aries is back. We're here breaking down the post-fight madness, bro. So yeah, some other notable things from the fight, if you want my reaction. This kid Sal killed, the real deal. Quillen Sal killed. First round knockout, just knocks Nasrat Hakprast off his feet, bro. Off his fucking feet. We can't play the footage, it's copyright. But just know he destroyed him. And prayers up for Nasrat. This man with the heel hook. Good money, good money. 4 heel hooks in a row for Walter Walker. First round. First round, first round, first round, first round. Dontail Mays, Junior Toffa, Kennedy, Louis. I mean, those aren't the worst opponents in the world. This guy's crazy. Came to the weigh-in with the fucking foot on as his necklace. And yeah, that's some of the notable stuff from the card, but there's more. There's more. Because Johnny Boy, Johnny Bones Jones, reacted to the fucking situation. And let's start with the fact that Jon Jones put a duck with an eye patch emoji as his new profile picture. A duck with an eye patch. Crazy work. He hates Tom. And Jon accepted Alex's call out. From when Alex beat Ankalaev, Jon just accepted. So yeah, Jon going crazy on Tom Aspinall with the subtle disses. Doesn't even acknowledge Tom Aspinall. He just goes straight to Alex. Alex, I'd be down to bring the highest skill level to the White House. I appreciate the respect you showed. Let's dance. 2.5 million, bro. 2.5 million. Now, we all know Jon Jones is notorious for his eye pokes. But look, they commented this. They're all dying. Jon won't say Tom's name, but he will subtly let us know how he feels. And this profile picture is definitely it. He had to have gotten this like DM to him by a fucking fan, and he had this shit saved. Not saved, but he saved it and then posted it immediately. Let's see what the comments are saying to Jon Jones. Get that belt back. Got to be for gold. Aspinall be like, damn, shout out to Bisping. Added an eye patch. Anything that avoids Aspinall is good for you. Do you think Jones is wanting to fight Periera due to his potential advantage on the ground? Did he decide not to fight Aspinall out of fear of loss, or really just because he saw Aspinall as not worth it for his legacy? Interesting stuff here. So, I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Jon Jones, I mean, clearly, Jon Jones beat Ciryl Gane. So, this is the thing. Jon's not saying it right now, but this is what Jon's been saying for a long time, which is like, you know, this is the guy. This is the guy you guys are all saying I'm scared of. Tom Aspinall. There's almost two ways of looking at it. Jon being like, see, I told you this guy ain't shit and he wasn't worth my time. Or Jon is like, damn. Deep in his heart of hearts, he's like, damn. I can't believe I was scared of this guy. Not that I think Jon was scared of him, but more like, damn, I can't believe I thought this guy was actually a threat. Because part of me thinks, you know, he retired because he thought Tom was a little bit of a threat. I thought that was a piece of uncooked chicken around his neck at first. I think Jon still doesn't want to fight Tom. No, he doesn't at all. Aspinall would still match up well against Jon. I'm gonna disagree, bro. I'm gonna disagree. Actually, you know what? I can agree with that, Louis. I'm trying to imagine it. I could agree with that. Styles make fights, and you know, Ciryl Gane is such a big fucking dude. I think it was a tough style for Tom Aspinall. But then it's like, if he thought he was a bum, why would he take the $30 million to fight him? LOL. Yeah, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he, Jew? Yeah, why wouldn't he? No, I feel you, and that's why I think part of me does believe Jon thought Tom was a serious threat. I don't think he was scared of Tom, but I think he thought Tom was a serious threat and wanted to get more film study on him, and also wanted him to go through another fight camp, possibly get some more nicks and cuts and bruises on him, soften him up, and then give him to him. But Jon's probably looking at it like, damn, you know what I mean? I didn't need him to do any of that. I could have just fought him right then and there. Maybe. That's a theory. But yeah, nothing too crazy with Jon Jones. Just a simple tweet. And then you got Periera. Let me see here. You got... You got Periera calling out Tom Aspinall. Let's make the heavyweight division great again. So, you got Periera calling out Aspinall, which is great. And then you got Jones calling out Periera, which is great. So... lots of good stuff. And then make the heavyweight division great again. Kind of a pun on the White House. And look, Stone versus Bone equals House. Oh no, he's calling out Jon Jones. I didn't even realize that. Stone versus Bone. Okay, so I don't know if other people caught on to this, but I might be late to the party. Periera's calling out Jon Jones for the UFC White House after this. Okay. Got you. Stone versus Bone equals House. Alex chomping at the bit now. Yeah, bro. Alex is like, perfect. Me and Jon Jones, the fight I really want. That's a big money fight right there, boys. That's a big money fight. No matter what anyone wants to say, that's a big money fight. Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. It's also the most accoladed fight possible. You know what I mean? The most accoladed fight imaginable. We need this fight, and we've been needed this fight since last year. Things, they both went in their separate paths, and here they are, joining back up again. 2026 UFC White House, June 14th or something like that. Trump's birthday. Fix the UFC gloves ASAP, make them closed as there is way too much eye gouging. Chris Light. Man, I don't know what they can do. And it's like, bro, I don't know. What do you guys think? Genuinely, tell me what you guys think. Aspinall going in on a takedown attempt. Ciryl gone poking him on the first attempt. There's no way of proving it. But what are the odds that his corner, right, beforehand was like, hey, man, on that first takedown attempt, fuck this guy. Poke him in the fucking eye if you have to. It's just a warning. We'd rather just deal with that than actually get taken down and lose the round. If you get a point taken, then you would have lost the round anyway if you would have got taken down. So it's worth it. I don't know. I don't know. If you guys have an opinion, let me know on that, because I'm actually kind of like debating that in my head right now. Because right now, Gane's getting the rap of like, I'm a good guy, playing that off, selling it off, right? And he's sorry and all that stuff. And then Aspinall is getting a lot of shit from one camp. But it's like, what if behind the scenes, Gane's team was planning on something like this to discourage Tom from taking him down throughout the fight? Weird move from Gane, straight out of Jon Jones' playbook, because that is out of Jon Jones' playbook. What I'm saying to you right now is out of Jon Jones' playbook. Like, what I'm saying isn't crazy. That is a fucking play. So, with that being said, how much more likely is it now? That's why I can see why Gane might not deserve a rematch right away. Okay, so Louis and Ju are at least understanding my point a little bit. All right. All right. All right. We're getting somewhere. Because, that would be really dirty then. If I'm right, right? And then you got Ciryl Gane playing babyface, crying. You know what I mean? That's not chill. That's not chill. We'll never be able to prove it. But something tells me. Why don't we look up the stats real quick on UFC.com? I feel like this is going to back up or refute what I have to say. Have Aspinall fight the Russian or Alex. I mean, Dana already said the rematch is happening, so we got no choice. And I can already hear my neighbor upstairs making noises. She might be up to something in a minute, boys. If you know, you know, bitch. That bitch might be up to something in a minute. I can just sense it. It's 11:08 here. Stay tuned. Okay. We're pulling up the results real quick. Wait, what the fuck? I want to know how many takedown attempts, right? Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Exactly as I predicted it. Tom Aspinall 0 of 1 on takedown attempts. On the first takedown attempt. Allow me to pull up the bookmark. Shout out Casual MMA. Sometimes these troll accounts, they be having points. What does that say? Gane stopped the takedown with an eye poke, by the way. Not only the takedown, but the first and only takedown attempt of the fight. I feel like stopping a takedown with an eye poke is way more obvious that you could have meant it than just standing out in the open, striking, boom, accidental eye poke. You know what I mean? But when the response to a takedown attempt is hand in the face, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't like the look of that. That's what I'm going to say. I can't accuse anybody, but I'm going to say I don't like the look of that at all. I don't like the look of that at all. And the fact that this is getting 67K views, 3.7K likes, that's not a coincidence. A lot of people are like, damn, really? Somebody saying, honestly, when an eye poke is this bad, it should be either an automatic point deduction if the fight continues or an automatic disqualification if the fight doesn't continue. You'll see how quickly eye pokes disappear. Yeah, I'm with it. Because at the end of the day, it was a foul on Ciryl Gane's part. And Tom Aspinall is getting a lot of the blame when it's like, dude, control your fucking weapons. Again, in football, do we blame the guy who interfered, the pass, or do we blame the receiver for wanting the penalty? Right? Are you guys picking it up here? Pass interference call. The cornerback in football, right? He's the one who interferes the pass by touching the receiver while the ball's in the air. In what world is it ever the receiver's fault, or does the receiver get flack for that penalty? Never. So, I don't know why Tom's getting a lot of the flack here when Ciryl Gane caused the penalty. And with that being said that Ciryl Gane caused the penalty, the fight couldn't continue. The fact that it's no contest, you could argue it should just be a win for Tom Aspinall. You foul your opponent, he can't continue. That should be chalked up to some degree as a win. In some worlds, it would be that, I feel like. In some other sports, I don't know all the sports out there, but, a DQ something. You do something illegal, the opponent can't continue. I don't know. Something tells me that should be a loss. Or at least there's a conversation. At least there's an argument for it. Motherfucker should be fighting through the pain. Every person that was booing. Absolutely disgusting. And this isn't the first time Ciryl has eye poked. They want to get this out of the sport automatically, deduct a point, intentional or not. They will disappear quick. Smart. Imavov does the same shit too. The French Invader special. So yeah, this guy comes from the same gym as another notorious eye poker, Imavov. If you know, you know. Chris Light says deliberate eye gouge. Okay, Chris. Okay, so we're getting somewhere here, boys. Because look at Ciryl Gane's sorry ass face. I mean, you see it in the thumbnail. Look at him looking up. I'll pause
So I
it for
started
you.
the fight very well. I know he loves to start very fast, and so I was.
Here we go. His sorry ass face. His sorry ass face, dude. But he's an actor now, right? So is he just dipping into his acting bag real quick? This sorry ass face. This dude was crying in the octagon. I'm not going to say he intentionally did it, but I'm going to say he could have intentionally did it. That's what I'm going to say. And I don't believe that sorry ass face for a second. I don't. Save it, bro. Fucking save it. Save that shit. So that's the story, boys. That is the fucking story. Shout out to Tom Aspinall. Shout out to Dana White. Dana White doing him dirty. Okay. The other side to it is this. Tom Aspinall, delete. This right here. UFC champion says he would vacate his title before fighting teammate. Tom goes, my friend Ante Delia just got his first win in the UFC and he's in the top 10. He's potentially 2 to 3 wins away from a title shot. If I'd never won a title, I would feel like we would have to fight because that's my dream. But now I've done it. I'd be like, I'll vacate it and he can have this. I'll vacate it and he can have his time. I wouldn't fight him. That's my guy. Ante Delia. And then Dana White literally reacted to it. Here it is. He goes, Dana White is not happy with Aspinall saying he will vacate if his friend, number 10 ranked Ante Delia, gets a title shot. I hate that. To even think about vacating, oh my God. To even think about vacating because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane, he told UFC on TNT. So, there you have it too. This in combination with this, Tom Aspinall's father saying he doesn't want to sign a new contract. Okay. This in combination with this is what resulted in this.
Because of the Jon Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. And he's right behind me. He's coming in next, so you guys can ask him how he felt. But I feel like, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight, and it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up, and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, so the rematch is very interesting. What's that?
So there you have it. You know what I mean? Vacating is insane. Dana is right. Chris, what are you talking about as far as vacating goes? Oh, yeah. This one right here. My bad. Yeah, vacating for your homie is retarded, in my opinion. Low-key retarded. What's he gonna do? Retire? Damn, Holloway did the same thing to Gaethje. That's fucked.
Yeah, it was double. It was double. Hey, Tom, listen, you are still the heavyweight champion.
I've never heard of that happening either, Tyler. Or sorry, Chris. Never heard of that happening either. Oh yeah, look at this. Get a load of this.
To do, and you, for whatever reason, you guys did whatever you did. You know, the disgust that he felt, because he knows if this is going to affect his legacy, his fault or not. Well, don't be mad at me. You had a job to do, and you, for whatever reason, you guys did whatever you did, and you didn't do your job. I'm not saying it's Tom's fault, and I'm not going to, you know, pretend that I know how bad it is or isn't. I think Ciryl made a poetic point that you have to be used to or willing to fight with one eye. I did it in Singapore. Everyone talks about it all the time, where the ladies waving stuff in front of my eyes. I can't see it. So what do? I just walk away and say, let's fight. It's like you either want to or you don't. And my fight wasn't for a world title. I didn't have Ciryl Gane in front of me throwing bombs. But the second that there was an issue, I knew that I wanted to continue, so I know what to say. You never say, I can't see, if you want to continue to fight. So when they ask the question, you just nod your head and you just walk away. Like, you find a way to get away from the doctor. If you want to fight, you can fight.
My trainer, Coach Clayton, when we'd be practicing, every now and then he would yell out to the whole room, close your left eye. And then he'd open your left eye, close your right eye later. He'd say, don't breathe through your nose anymore, breathe through your mouth. And the idea was, if your eye gets swollen and it gets shut, or if your nose gets clogged and you can't breathe, that you're kind of used to these things. Tom said something, and look, we got to dwell on a guy in a really bad moment. But to dwell on him, he said, I got poked in the eye, I can't see. If you got poked in the eye and you're injured, we have a totally different conversation. If you get poked in the eye and you can't see, generally in our sport, that's just something you've got to push through.
So they think he should have pushed through it. Here it is again.
But to fight with one eye is very common. Being poked in the eye is illegal, Brendan, but to fight with one eye is very common. The opponent's trying to hit your eye. He's trying to bust up and make your nose bleed. So that part of it does have question for guys like Anthony and I. We're trying to be polite. We're trying to show grace. But in all fairness, if you're the heavyweight champion of the world, you got to fight with one eye at times. I thought that the fight was turning out to be a little bit harder than perhaps Tom had expected. I had one concern with Tom, and this is not his fault. It's because he's so doggone good. But the reality is he finished 6 guys in the first round. He's never been to a third round of a fight, just for example. So the question is, how are you going to respond when things get tough? But there was something about the way that the story was being told, the way that it was being held on the eye and never removed. I mean, don't forget, this cloth that he had in his eye contained an ice cube. This wasn't some kind of a magic cloth that was going to cure a cornea or something that was wrong with your eye or even take swelling away. It contained an ice cube. Right. And it was just being held on there oddly. Then there was conversations that were taking place. There was a story that was being told, and I've checked out of fights before. Yeah. I know what it looks like, and I knew that he was done.
Hey, there, here it is in real time. I'm not saying it's Tom's fault, and I'm not going to, pretend that I know how bad it is or isn't. I think Ciryl made a poetic point that you have to be used to or willing to fight with one eye. I did it in Singapore. You never say, I can't see, if you want to continue to fight. So when they ask the question, you just nod your head and you just walk away. Like, you find a way to get away from the doctor. If you want to fight, you can fight.
If your eye gets swollen and it gets shut, or if your nose gets clogged and you can't breathe, that you're kind of used to these things. Tom said something, and look, we got to dwell on a guy in a really bad moment. But to dwell on him, he said, I got poked in the eye, I can't see. If you got poked in the eye and you're injured, we have a totally different conversation. If you get poked in the eye and you can't see, generally in our sport, that's just something you've got to push through. Yeah.
Okay, reading a couple of chats. It said from Jew earlier. Jew said, so Louis says he sees why Gane might not deserve a rematch right away. Then Jew says he didn't think he deserved it really in the first place, or there's an argument for it. He stopped the second one with the eye poke, and Aspinall reset. The first one at the 4-minute mark, he actually stuffed. Okay, so he shot in for 2 takedowns then. Is that what you're saying, Jew? Aspinall? Maybe they didn't count the second one as a takedown attempt. He didn't use the full 5 minutes. So yeah, you know, you got Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith talking some shit. I don't know. They're fighters. They're allowed to say what they want to say. Maybe they're a little bit too old school. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but they got valid opinions. They're certified. I think they're getting flack for it, though. Two fighters that didn't sniff the belt. Okay, fuck that. Tom didn't do anything to deserve having to fight a disadvantage. To fight at a disadvantage, and title fights deserve to be fought on equal footing. Oh yeah, the mighty Anthony Smith and 5th round tapper Chael are talking about quitting. How are you going to be when the going gets tough? I'm not a fighter myself, but this is a wild take. Tom got hit with an illegal strike, altering the entire trajectory of the fight. LOL. Not a good look for Tom. The only way to clear this mess will be through a rematch in the very near future and to never again verbally tap out. Ciryl is the champ in my opinion until proven otherwise. Damn. Anthony Smith, the quitter himself, and Chael, who quits in the 5th round of a title fight that he was dominating. Had Tom kept going and lost because he couldn't see, both these guys would have said, well, if Tom couldn't see, he should have stopped the fight. That's facts, and we'll end it on that. We will end it on this one right here. Had Tom kept going and lost because he couldn't see, both these guys would have said, quote unquote, well, if Tom couldn't see, he should have stopped the fight. That's a fact, isn't it? That's a fucking fact. So, keep that in mind. I think we won't tolerate Tom slander. And free Tom Aspinall. We think there is potential that Ciryl Gane eye poke was intentional. Alright? And Dana White needs to... Well, Dana White, just know that whoever he's playing favorites with, it's not... He doesn't care about all of this stuff. He cares about the financials. And like I said, he's doing this to Tom. He's not on Tom's side because he found his loophole, right, to go at Tom after the shit that was happening this fight week. Tom saying he would vacate his belt if his friend Ante D'Elia moves up the rankings. And his dad saying that he doesn't want him to resign and he wants to go into boxing. Dana found his loophole to go after the Aspinalls, and he is. So it's Dana versus the Aspinalls now. Alright? Alright, shout out you boys for tapping in again. If you haven't liked the stream yet, like the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. You already know the deal. If anybody new's watching, I just gotta tell them. But I will see you guys tomorrow. We gotta see Tom Aspinall's response and all this stuff, right? So we're waiting on Tom Aspinall's response. Let's see what he has to say. And we'll be back here tomorrow. And if we got any more news, music to my ears. Yeah, people were making fun of Smith for talking about not quitting. Yeah, fucking A. These guys need to just chill a little bit. I don't agree with their take. Alright, Louis, Aries, Chris. Chris, make sure you subscribe, homie. Make sure you subscribe. Jew. Scott. Scott goes, Aspinall wanted out of the fight. Damn. Peace out, Aries. Peace out, Taylor Swenson. Alright, boys. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. 30 days live streaming every day. So, let's go, boys. Let's go. Peace out, boys.